Yo, what is going on, guys? It's Hatchets here, and today I'm going to be giving you guys a no-nonsense Leviathan Easter egg guide. As I was looking up Easter egg guides, all of them were about 30 minutes, and I want to condense it into about 10 minutes or so you know how to do this Easter egg within 10 minutes instead of watching a 30-minute video. There's 5 key steps, and we're going to begin with step number 1. This has to do with the quest of the skull. You don't really have to do this in this exact order. You can switch it up between step number 1 and step number 2, but I preferably do this step first. So what you want to do is kill all of the jumping jacks during the round. You can get them either on round 5, 6, or 7. It doesn't really matter, but once you kill the final jumping jack, he's going to spawn a key. Once he drops this key, you're going to grab this key and go to the labs and find the room with a desk and painting. Interact with the desk and a drawer will open with a skull inside of it. Take the skull out of the drawer and take it to the biodome. You can access the biodome by opening up the maps. It's just a matter of finding where it is. So once you do this, there's a temple underneath the middle of the biodome, and you can access this with stairs. You're going to put the skull on the middle table within this temple, and there will be a soul box. You're going to have to feed around 20 to 30 zombies, and after giving it enough souls, you can interact with it to open a portal to the room before the boss fight. Now, if you're playing co-op, everybody has to interact with this portal before you go into this room. So make sure that everyone presses X or F, whatever, on the keyboard, and then you can go into this room. Now, I recommend having a decent setup, maybe the ray gun, the staff. You can build that. I'm going to link a video on how to build the staff, and the shield. You're definitely going to want that, and you probably want to pack a punch a couple of weapons. So once you have all that, you're going to find a room with 4 statues. You're going to have to throw a grenade at all 4 of the statues. I recommend cooking them and then having them explode at the base, and then everyone is going to have to interact with the middle pillar of the room if you're playing co-op. And if you're playing solo, then it's fine if you just interact with it. And then you're going to get a cutscene, and congratulations, you are on to your first boss fight. Now, this boss has 3 stages and cycles 3 times. So the scuba man, the boss, is going to walk around. You're going to have to damage him. I recommend that you use grenades, Gourshes, QEDs, anything like that. You can get free QEDs by typing in the code 9355. But you will also need these QEDs later on in the map to complete the Easter egg. So the wave gun, other weapons don't really do that much damage to him. The harpoon gun, not so much. I recommend using a pack-a-punched RPK, pack-a-punched AK-74U, and you'll be able to take him down relatively easily. And once you do enough damage to him, within 1 cycle, he will float in the middle and build up an electrical discharge. It's a blue discharge. If you do not get behind one of the many pillars in the room, you will die. So make sure you get behind a pillar. It's a one-shot, you'll go down. He'll send jumping jacks after you, and that's how you know you've completed a cycle. Then you'll do this 3 more times. You'll defeat him, you'll get a max ammo, and then you will go to the middle of the room where he jumps to do his electrical discharge, and you can get 1-inch punch by interacting with the 1-inch punch insignia. So once you do this, you're going to go back to the labs and find the painting and the desk room, and you're going to go straight to the painting and do the 1-inch punch on it, and it will reveal the Vril device. You're going to pick up the Vril device, as this is a very important element to the Easter egg. Now we're on to step 2. So this step has to do with freeing the man behind the metal door. So how you're going to do this is go to the labs and you'll find a metal door. Make sure the power is on when you do this, and it's an old beaten up looking door. It's actually by the painting room with the desk, and you're going to interact with it with F or X if you're using a controller, and the voice will talk back. This is actually Dr. Zov. He's a main part of the Easter egg. You're actually freeing him and Richtofen's friend. So he'll tell you something about turning something on within the map, and then you're going to go directly to the room with the Samantha Says PCs. They will have numbers 1 to 4 of them in a specific sequence, and they'll have cables running on them to these control panels with a red button on them. So you're going to follow the sequence that is ordered on the Samantha Says PC. And for example, you'll have 4, 3, 2, 1. You'll go to the 4th PC and follow the line to the control panel and press the button in whichever sequence it is. If it's 4, 3, 2, 1, for example, number 3, after doing number 4, you'll go to the 3rd computer, follow the cable, go over to the control panel and press that button. And you'll do that until you complete every single one. Doing this correctly will start a Samantha Says sequence on the PCs, and after doing this, you will get a new code on the screen. You're going to put this code into the keyboard on the Pack-a-Punch submarine. Once you put this code in on the Pack-a-Punch keypad, you're going to look to the left or the front of the submarine, and you're going to see that a new door has opened. This door has opened, you go over to it and pick up a valve that's in a drawer. So now, once you have this valve, you're going to put this valve in 5 different locations around the map. Make sure to take note of the color of the valve and the number above it. Also, make sure to turn the valves after placing them. If you don't do this, you'll mess up this entire step, and you'll have to go back finding each valve. So the locations, they each have a number above them. The valve locations where you can place this valve are in the Samantha computer room, in the tunnel near Stamina Up, room next to spawn, in the cafeteria opposite of the box location, and above the console that says release mine. Now you're going to go to the room where the floating man is located, and this is by double tap if you don't know where the floating man is. And one of the smaller rooms within this room, you can find 5 tubes with a number and a color. With these, you can figure out the code that you need to put inside of the 4 valves outside of the biodome. This allows you to free Dr. Zob. So now you're going to go outside to a place where you can find 5 spots that I just mentioned to put on the valve with pressure meters, and you're going to take note of the color and the number. These are around the map. You're going to spin the valve 1 time with this number, and now you're going to go to the biodome, right outside the biodome, and you can find the 5 spots that you can put the valve on. So after spinning each individual valve, you're going to go outside the biodome and have a whole lineup, a whole control panel of 5 valves. And you're going to have to put the right amount of pressure per spot. So you're going to have to figure this out. And you're going to have to figure this out by looking at the numbers and corresponding colors of the valves you place earlier on in separate locations of the map, not in this central area. So for example, if you put down a green valve under the number 1 equals green, and for the next colors, you're going to look at the floating man room and find the corresponding number. So now that you've done this, you need to match these up. So for example, in my case, when I did it, red was number 1, green was number 5, yellow was number 2, blue was number 3, white was number 4. When matching these colors, you will get a specific number to them according to the valve and the color that you've placed. This is an extremely confusing step. If you don't get it, I will also link down a video that explains it more in depth. But for example, in my case, number 1 corresponded with number 5 in the colored valve from the floating man room. So you're just going to have to match each up. 2 was number 3, 3 equaled number 1. When this is done correctly, you will hear a specific noise, and the biodome will have some bubbles coming out of it, and the lab will have some bubbles coming out of it. So now that you've done this, you're going to go back to the metal door within the lab, and next to the door, you're going to see a spot where you can put the valve. With this valve, you can open the door, and the scientist, Dr. Zov, will come out, and he will lead you to the crystals. Now, you're going to have to escort him through the map while zombies attack him. Make sure you have a shield and plenty of ammo, as there's going to be a wave of zombies that comes on you, and jumping jacks as well. I recommend that you use the wrench so you can also get your free perk, and you have to make sure that you stay close to Dr. Zov while you escort him. Make sure you have plenty of points to open up the map, and honestly, an easy way to do this is to have plenty of points and have one of your teammates, if you're playing co-op, train 1 zombie. Once you kill all of the waves of zombies, have one teammate go with a zombie away from Dr. Zob's path, and you'll be completely fine, and he'll lead you to a part of the map near PhD where you can take the crystals. Now you take the crystals, and this is also the crystal you can use to upgrade the crystallized harpoon gun. So now we're going to move on to step number 4. And this is the floating man and uranium quest. So you're going to locate the room with the floating man and interact with this cryptopod with the red button. This is going to open up the tube. He's going to start talking to you. And now you're going to have to hit one of the 4 buttons around him and then hack it with the hacker. So each button around him has like some sort of control panel, and you're going to have to hack it with the hacker and find a corresponding control panel throughout the map that makes a beeping noise. You're going to have to do this a total of 4 times with each different control panel around the cryptopod. So you're going to go to 1, hack it, look around the map, have somebody else that's playing with you, look for the keypad that's making the beeping noise, press the red button, it's going to turn green, then you can move on to the next control panel. After you've done all of this successfully 4 times, you have to blow up the second submarine. Now you have to find the button that says release mine. This is close to the mine outside of PhD Flopper. And now you have to shoot this mine as the second submarine floats over it to blow it up. Now I do have to mention the second mine will not be able to be released unless you successfully press the button near PhD Flopper with Dr. Zav. He takes you to it, so make sure that you press it. If done successfully, the sub will crash close to PhD outside, and it drops uranium. Make sure you pick it up. Now, uranium cannot be exposed to air, and you have to bring it to the floating man room. There's a small tube that you can put in front of it, and it's easy to interact with. You just press it and it sucks up the uranium. Now make sure that you have parts of the map excavated so you can successfully deliver the uranium to the tube man. Without doing that, your uranium is going to blow up. You can try using stamina up, but there's no guarantee to that. It's extremely hard to turn the corner and get it. So make sure that you have these parts excavated. If you want to know a fast way to excavate these tunnels, just go high up in the rounds, or you can type bird into the Pack-a-Punch keyboard. Now, this will excavate tunnel 11, the sub control panel, so you have a complete and straight path to the area that you need to deposit the uranium. Now we're going to move on to step 5, and this is the lockdown quest. Before you begin the lockdown quest, you have to collect souls by the generator by Speed Cola. It's this big cylinder directly near the entrance to the labs. So you have to activate the soul box by clicking the panel opposite of the mystery box location on the cylinder, and this will begin a lockdown. This is not really referred to as a lockdown, but you have to stay on this platform. It will not let you leave this platform unless you fill all of the souls. Now, if you're playing co-op, once again, you guys all have to interact with this at the same time. Once it's filled, you can leave the terminal and you can pick up a rainbow looking piece of uranium. Now you're ready to go into the lockdown, the official lockdowns, a few times. You have to do this 3 separate times. These different locations are the round room close to the cafeteria and jug, the spawn room, and in the lab. The zombies will go for the terminals that you use to begin the lockdown. It's basically like the keypad that you use to begin the hack and the beeping noise. And once you start the lockdown, you have to protect these keypads or the zombies will mess it up and you'll fail the lockdown. Now, the subman may spawn in again that you saw in the mini boss fight. It's really easy to kill him if you use a Gersh and you just light him up with rounds. It's not that hard, trust me. You use your staff. That's my best advice that I can give you. Now, once you've done all these lockdowns, you have to activate the backup power, and this switch is located where a bunch of TV screens are, and it's super self-explanatory. Just turn on the backup power, and after you do this, you have to hit certain spots of the map outside of the map actually with QEDs. You can get free QEDs by typing in the code 9355 in the submarine keypad. So once you do this, go around the map, you'll find them. I'll show you what it looks like, but I don't actually have the angle that you need to throw them at. You have to throw them at a specific angle or you will fail. So I'll provide you guys with a video showing the exact angle. I'll link it down in the description below. And once you've done this, they'll light up purple. That's how you know you've done it right. And when you do all 3, you'll know that you've done it correctly because a noise will play. And these locations are located near power, near the backup power, and near Speed Cola. Once you've done this, go back to the floating man and put in the 3 items you collected on the small desk next to him. This includes the Vril device, the colorful piece of uranium, and you'll have to throw a Gersh device at him once you've placed these 3 items. He will disappear after he asks you to free him and you use the Gersh device, and you have to take back the Vril device. If you don't do this, you will fail the whole Easter egg and have to restart. Now you go to the submarine spawn room and you have to press on the keypad right next to the submarine. And if you're playing co-op, everyone has to interact with this keypad at the same time, and it'll take you straight to the boss fight. Now, step 6 is the boss fight, and this boss fight is pretty basic. It has 3 phases. You're going to have to shoot at the glowing spots of the huge Kraken to kill him, and make sure you have a gun with a lot of ammo or a lot of ammo capacity because you will be getting Perkaholic, and this will allow you to take down this boss relatively easy. I recommend the RPK and the AK-74U once again. This will help you, but you will in fact get Perkaholic the second you complete the QED step. So he has various attacks. This Kraken has various attacks, the boss, the final boss, and the first attack are blue bombs. They make your screen go wild and shake pretty much, and another attack is slamming down with his tentacles. You don't really have to worry about these 2. And another is a laser beam. You have to be aware of the charge wipe attack. It's similar to the submarine first boss fight where it'll take you in one hit, it'll put you down and end your entire game. So if you're playing solo, don't worry, you have Perkaholic, you'll just get revived every single time. But if you don't, but if you're playing co-op, you have to be aware of this attack and you have to get behind a storage container. Once you do enough damage to him, the sub guy will spawn, you'll have to kill him, and then you'll go back to killing the huge Kraken. So once you beat them, you'll get a cutscene and it'll say that you have beat Leviathan in however so many rounds, and you are now done with the Easter egg. So if you guys enjoyed this video, please remember to comment, like, and subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next one.